20 kilometers from Srinagar, armed separatists have been spotted. They have been hiding in a thick forest, and for the last 15 hours, a barrage of gunshots has been exchanged between invisible men and soldiers from the Indian Armed Forces.
AK-47, grenades, pistol, what they are having, they are using.
And there are how many?
2-3 are expected.
In this part of Indian-administered Kashmir, conflict between Muslim rebels and the state is increasing. In 2015 alone, 65 insurgents have been killed. It is estimated that approximately 200 more rebels are hiding in this area. But the 500,000 armed forces deployed in the state far exceed this number. In this operation, local police is also assisting the soldiers.
Leaving aside other ideological differences, other things, like this Taliban in Afghanistan, it's like that. This is a guerrilla war. They play hide and seek. They have sympathizers who provide them shelter, food.
We see young people from a village close by trying to disrupt the operation. Police has to use tear gas to hold them back. When possible, we go over to the other side to speak to them. Barely out of their teens, these young people, like many others in Kashmir, demand independence or unification with Pakistan. But if caught, they could face imprisonment. In the last 70 years, India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars over the control of this largely Muslim area. In the 1990s, civilian restlessness reached a crescendo. Thousands of young Kashmiris took up arms against the state. And the repression unleashed by the Indian government to end this rebellion came at a high cost. Today, the same anti-India sentiment is rising from the ashes once again. The separatists were eventually defeated. It was confirmed that they belonged to neighboring villages and worked for the Lashkar-e-Toiba, a Pakistani militant group. But the entire village joined the mourning as these rebels were given a martyr's funeral. Gulzar Ahmed was 46 years old. The Imam took up arms a year ago. According to his family, it was because of the abuses suffered by them at the hands of the Indian troops.
He was a peaceful boy, but when he saw our young demonstrators being shot and women being raped by the Indian soldiers, he felt he no longer had the choice and realized that the Quran also allows us to fight.
We leave for the Taral region, southeast from Srinagar, where several families have seen their children recently join an armed struggle against the state. This father claims he had no news of the whereabouts of his 14-year-old son Burhan until they saw his photograph in a newspaper last month.
This is my son.
Like many of these young fighters, Burhan was a model student.
Handsome, very intelligent. I thought that he will become a great doctor, but it is all in the hands of Allah that he joined militancy. That is why I am hopeful and I am proud of my son. He is not a terrorist.
These young rebels might be in hiding, but their photos have been posted all over social media as an inspiration for other young Kashmiris. This new brand of protesters is even more determined than those before them in the 1990s, according to Hanif, a former rebel. He spent 19 years in hiding, but a rehabilitation program for former militants has allowed him to return to Srinagar to write his memoirs.
In the
1990s, armed struggle was a mass movement. A number of fighters were illiterate. They took the weapons to rob people and get rich. They were thugs. But the young people today are more sincere in their commitment. This new generation is more radical. They're stronger. They dream of making Kashmir an independent Islamic state.
Local graffiti found in Srinagar is often anti-India. But in recent months, ominous new signs in support of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria have come up. But experts say these could merely be inflammatory and not an actual indication of a growing presence of ISIS in Kashmir.